I don't feel bad for these people anymore. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for the support. On my channel, I like to give my opinion and perspective on things that are happening today, things that I think actually matter to everyday people, especially those of us trying to raise kids in the insanity known as today's society. Please be sure to like this video, leave a comment below, and also share it. Also, be sure you are subscribed to my channel. All of these things will help me grow my channel and hopefully to reach more people that value logic, reason, and sanity. Also, be sure to find me on Rumble under Outspoken Samantha in the event that YouTube decides I have violated their community standards and chooses to kick me off their platform forever. That being said, let's get into today's topic. So I'm just going to briefly touch on the midterm elections last night. I think that a lot of us are feeling defeated this morning, rightfully so. I think a lot of us are trying to wrap our heads around what the heck just happened. I think the reason that we thought there was going to be a bigger red wave is because in our ability to think logically and reason and to use our eyes, we can see the absolute chaos that is happening in our country. So many cities that are being overrun with crime and homelessness and drugs and people not feeling safe, the hypersexualization of our kids, parents literally being convinced to have their kids chop off their own body parts, that we're seeing all of this and we're thinking the vast majority of people are not going to stand for this. I think we were hoping in 2020 when we saw all of the riots happening and politicians refusing to do anything about it, combined with the fact that we had all of these people that were very power hungry, shutting down schools and cities and keeping them shut down indefinitely, refusing to acknowledge, certain groups of people being affected more by COVID than not, and really, trying to have a more balanced approach so as not to destroy the economy, demonstrating that they were absolutely willing to destroy the economy, that they were absolutely willing to destroy every other aspect of life just for, something that we could see early on was affecting a smaller group of people. I think we were hoping after seeing that in 2020 that people would come to their senses and say there's no way that I'm going to vote for that people are going to see it for what it is, see these people for who they are, and they're going to vote against it. That didn't happen. So I think we were hoping that after 2 years we're like, okay, clearly people, we're going to be able to see the left for who they are, not just Republicans and Democrats, but these far left people who are clearly not interested in safe communities, that are clearly not interested in preserving, public safety, that are not interested in parental rights, that are not interested in school choice, that are not interested in a strong economy, that don't care that we can't afford gas and groceries, that we see these politicians in control that don't care about all of the issues that we're saying that we care about. And people are going to recognize that for what it is, and they're going to let go of their partisanship and realize that policies matter more, that their communities matter more, that their friends and neighbors matter more, and they're going to let those go and they're going to vote accordingly. And that didn't happen. And I think that says a lot more about where we are as a culture than anything else. The culture has definitely shifted. People's priorities have definitely shifted. And we see that partisanship has taken over people's value systems. We see that people are so dedicated to that party line ticket, to talking points, to things that, that they can be truly convinced that threats to democracy and abortion and January 6th are really the things that they should be worried about, and that they can look at their neighbor in the face who is saying, my family is suffering, we don't feel safe, and say, I don't care. My partisanship and my political beliefs matter so much more, which is really a sad state of affairs. I cannot believe that John Fetterman won, and I think that demonstrates the height of partisanship. This man cannot speak. This man has bragged about wanting to, about letting out convicted murderers onto the streets, and under his policies, there's going to be a large population of the prison system let out back into the streets of Pennsylvania. People are going to suffer. People are going to continue to suffer. But at this point, if they don't recognize that, if they are not willing to acknowledge that that system is broken, and that there are people that will drive them into the ground, and if they refuse to care about that at this point, you get what you vote for. I mean, I feel really bad for the people of Pennsylvania and Michigan and New York that have had their cities and states overrun with crime, and they did vote the other way. They recognized that they needed to, shift things back to the middle and at least cast a vote this time to bring law and order back to their cities. And I feel bad that they are going to continue to have to live in this mess. But the people that voted for this craziness and continue to vote for it, and who have completely lost their soul and humanity, and can look at their communities that are descending into utter chaos and lawlessness, and that innocent people are suffering, and say, I don't care. I am more dedicated to my democratic belief system, and talking points and hashtags on Twitter matter more to me than actually trying to bring some semblance of sanity back to my community and making sure my friends and neighbors feel safe. I don't feel bad for these people anymore. I do think that people need to recognize that the smaller governments in your area, the smaller elections and their local communities, that is what matters most. That's where you have the biggest impact, and that is where those policies are really going to affect you the most. So that is where your focus needs to be. These are the policies, these are the people that are going to affect your family, that are going to affect your children. Stay the course in continuing to go to your school board elections, manage what is happening in your schools, monitor what your kids are being exposed to, and continue to fight for them, because that is what they need from us. We, by any stretch of the imagination, should not be giving up. Truth, logic, sanity, we know that these things are going to win out in the end. And this is what our kids need us to be fighting for. In the home, especially as parents, be sure that you are continuing to teach your kids to value liberty, to value freedom, to understand their unlimited potential, and to recognize that, wanting freedom and liberty for themselves is not a selfish thing. I think there has been a severe culture shift in believing that being free and having liberty and having unlimited opportunity is a selfish thing for whatever reason. And that explains a lot of the shift in our values, the shift in things that we prioritize, and, kind of how people have decided to move this country forward and away from our founding principles. So a lot of it is going to come down to what we stand for in our local areas, in our cities, in our neighborhoods, in our school boards. It's going to come down to continuing to be strong parents in the home to our kids, and linking arms with people in our community that want to fight for the values that we have in common. And don't give up. I mean, just don't give up. There is still a country worth fighting for. There are still people, good, strong, kind people that, have the same core principles that we do, that are worth joining up with and continuing to fight the good fight. So I don't want people to lose hope. I know it's really unfortunate that, we saw what happened last night, but there are still a lot of good things happening. We saw a lot of these smaller races flip seats. We saw a lot of school boards flip seats. And that is what we will continue to do, piece by piece, county by county, school board by school board, city by city. And that is what is going to make the biggest difference. So please don't lose hope. Please don't give up. I would love to hear your thoughts on last night. I know that, like I said, I think we're all especially astounded. Especially, I will never wrap my brain around the whole John Fetterman thing. I mean, I know Dr. Oz is not the best candidate ever, but John Fetterman has brain damage. I mean, you get what you vote for. Like, the people that voted for him, I will never feel sorry for you, ever. I don't want to hear any complaining ever about the state of things where you live. I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, we're still waiting to hear on the results of Kari Lake. Let's pray and hope for this, for positive things to come out of there. She is one of the strongest women I've ever seen in my life. And I think that every candidate moving forward that decides to throw their hat in the ring for a Republican position of any kind should look to Kari Lake's campaign and do exactly what she did. Get out there and fight. Be unapologetically patriotic. Stand for the Constitution, and don't back down. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have a good one.